Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to a proper unboxing of the Revolver Deluxe vinyl box set. Featuring just the box. Not me, because you know what I look like. So this has just been delivered to me from Amazon. I did not get an early set. I'm probably getting it the same time as you. But for some people who haven't got theirs today or are waiting on the quality of the final product, this is for you. Because I know the vinyl is twice the price of the CD set, and I want to see if it's worth it. That looks nicely packed for a start. Very nice. A real protective shell. Excellent. Always good to see decent standard of packing on these things. And there it is. Now, I've already seen a lot of images and pictures and things online from this set already, and I've already formed quite a few opinions as to the look of it and the makeup of it, but we're going to have a look inside it for myself, and I'm going to show you some of my opinions at this early stage. There we go. So there it is. You've got quite a shiny front with this Revolver sort of embossed on the bottom. Let's get a closer look with the parlophone symbol there, which is invisible in regular light, but in reflected light you can see the text there. On the side we've got Revolver 2. A few marks there actually. Well, that's sort of dust, printing dust maybe. Bit of a nick there as well. You can see that. This is a nick on the side. Damage. Probably made in the factory, obviously not in the packing, because that was pretty good. So, first minus mark there. This is a bit marked as well on the top. But I think that's just the paper, where the paper's cut. I'm not a big fan of this black border around this set. It seems quite funereal to me. Reasons for that I should be giving in my review a little later on. But let's dig in, let's have a look, see what comes out first. Let's just have a look at the back and the track listing, which I'm sure a lot of you are all familiar with at the moment. And yeah, Paul's, oh no, it's not Paul's hand, that's something bleeds around into the opening there. Anyway, that's the slipcase. Fairly thick, fairly standard, but disappointment already with that piece of damage there. So what's first out? Stereo mix. Stereo top right hand corner as the original, and everything else looking pretty much the same as the standard issue, right down to the text on the spine. Rear panel, same as the UK edition. Although, I know I'm not the only one to say this, but I'm quite disappointed they didn't go with the flipbacks. If you remember the 2014 reissue, beautiful flipbacks on that issue. Really nice authentic style. But on this album, and even the mono one beneath it, no flipbacks. Now I know they didn't have flipbacks in the US either, but they tried to make this look like the authentic, the UK edition. So it would have been nice to see flipbacks on the cover, which isn't laminated, it's just as like a shiny eggshell finish and sort of smooth on the back. So, you know, it's what it is. Anyway, let's have a look at the vinyl itself, because that's one of the things that I'm really interested in. As you know, or you may not know, these discs were pressed at GZ or GZ Media in the Czech Republic, just over the border here in Austria, not too far away, as opposed to Optimal, who pressed the 2014 box set in Germany. So straight out of the box, let's look at the vinyl. See if we can see any flaws or damage. There's something there. What is this? Bit of something, bit of paper maybe. Anyway, this looks clean. I can't see any paper scratches on it. There's a little mark. There's a mark here. Don't know whether you can see that. Yeah, I think you can. What is that? That's actually inside the vinyl. Yeah, if I catch the light right, you can see it. So that's inside the vinyl. Not sure if that'll sound, but still, things I don't like to see in new vinyl. Inscribed into the runout, it says Miles Abbey Road, half speed, room 30. There, hope you can see that now. There we go. So that's the first label. What's label 2 actually. 3 sets of matrices in the runouts there. 1, 2, 3. And this side looks okay, quality-wise. As I said, no paper scratches, no static marks. Looks very clean. So that's a good sign. Obviously, I can't tell if it's warped or dished just by looking at it from this angle. Has to go on the turntable, but that's quite a good sign straight off. Fairly heavy. I wouldn't say it's 180 grams. Actually, let's go and measure it. 167 grams. So not quite 180. 167 grams for the stereo, which is the 2022 remix. Now let's turn our attention to the mono, which is the original mono mix, straight from the master tape, purported to be all analog, again in the same style cover as the stereo, no flipbacks, same type of label, polylined inner sleeves, which is good to see. That's probably why there's no paper scratches on these. So 3 sets of matrices in the dead wax there. No cutting engineer signature, but this was cut by Sean McGee, who doesn't like to show off and doesn't sign his name in the runouts, unlike Mr. Shoel. So there's no evidence of him being here, but he did cut this at Abbey Road. And again, like the stereo, it looks fairly clean. There's a bit of distortion there around in the runoff. See, just there. That's the only flaw I can see at the moment. Bit of dust from the paper, but all looks to be in good order. Again, fairly heavy, but let's give it away. 173 grams. So not quite the 180. So yeah, it's pretty standard cover, nothing special. Nothing special there. Let's turn our attention to the next disc in the pile. This is the Sessions disc with Robert Freeman's alternate cover on the front. That has a slightly glossy finish, and the rest of it is matte, as you can see from the light reflections. Revolver Sessions on the spine. and a slightly different picture to the one on the released version on the back. I can just hold it down there, you can see. Slightly better quality too. Probably because it's been taken for the original negative, unlike the cover there. So alternate mixes, alternate pictures. Let's have a look at this first. Right, this is the 7-inch EP, which contains Paperback Writer and Rain, the remix version, and Paperback Writer and Rain, the mono version, as a 4-track EP, which is nice to have in this vinyl form. I think I'd feel a bit shortchanged if I had this in the CD set. There's just one single CD, which is no fun at all. I would have rather have had it on the Sessions CD itself, and I believe it's on a separate CD. They've gone to the, well, I say trouble of reproducing this original UK looking sleeve, but this is another thing which really frustrates me with these sets. It's just the little details that they mess up. Okay, so this is a UK first pressing sleeve, an original. Bit dirty, granted, but there you go. It's original. They got the right one anyway. It's the 6 shillings and 50 shillings record token denominator on the back. But if they wanted to reproduce it accurately, why didn't they make it top opening like the originals instead of side opening? I don't understand why they did that. And it would have had a nice, maybe a nice fluted edge like this one it had, but they made it side opening, which is, to me, defeats the object of trying to reproduce the original. What do you think? Anyway, there you go. Of course, I'll be comparing the sound between this and many other things in the review video, which will be coming up next week. Because, like many of you, having not received an early copy, this is my first look at, my first, and will be my first listen later on today of this set. So I'll be having my opinions the same time as you. When you formed your opinions, I'll have mine. So I think that makes it a bit more fun than reading somebody else's review before you've heard it yourself. Right, this is the Sessions disc. Uses a reproduction dust of the Parlophone test pressing label, of which I just happen to have an original next to me, so you can just compare that while I'm having a look at it here. There we go. This is the original one. I'd say it's a little bit whiter, so I can get them in the screen at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, just a bit of extra wording on the Revolver one, obviously, for copyright reasons, etc., etc. This actually feels a little heavier than the album disc. To make sure, let's give it a weigh. On the trusty scales. 177, so it's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit heavier than the album. This one feels about the same. A whisker off, 179 grams. So there you go. A bit more thickness to the Sessions discs than on the albums. Looking at this, it's a bit dusty. I mean, you expect that, I suppose. It's not going to be perfect, but as long as it doesn't have any flaws in it, I'm happy. There doesn't seem to be any visual flaws like there were in the other discs. It seems to be pretty flat and clean, which is good because a lot of people were worried about GZ's quality, not being as good as Optimal's, but so far I can see no No big issues with that. Let's have a look inside the cover. Robert Freeman's shot of the Beatles in studio, recording the album, Studio 3, I think. Some black dust there. Anyway, this cover looks okay. Smooth seams, nothing damaged there, that's okay. So again, it's fairly lightweight, flimsy, but does the job. And here's the book with the shiny relief of the hair and the typeface, which isn't actually the same typeface which was used on the original cover. They have sort of messed around with that a bit, and it's a bit different. This is a font called Impact, which they've used on the spine and on the spine of the box set, whereas the font which was used on the front cover is a font called Grotesque number 9, which is different. So, I mean, Impact does have a very 60s vibe to it around this period, but it's different. Whether that was intentional or just laziness, I don't know, but it's different. And forward by Paul McCartney, which is pretty short. George Martin did his, sorry, it's Giles Martin. Giles Martin wrote the introduction, and it goes through pictures. And this is an essay by a chap called, I forget his name, so I'm going to look at the end. That's it, Questlove. So he's apparently got interesting things to say about this album, which warranted a large essay in the front of this book. I personally haven't heard of him before, but I'll be interested to read his opinion on the album. Obviously, it was relevant enough to be included in this book, so should be interesting. Lovely pictures, and I love these technical documents and drawings and tape boxes and original handwritten lyrics. Taxman. You know, I enjoy all these small details, and will enjoy reading these in this book and looking at all these great pictures. Yeah, well, there's time for that later. Yeah, so plenty of that. And Paperback Writer and Rain also included. And this is an illustrated story by Klaus Forman of how the cover was designed. A video about which you can see elsewhere on our channel, which we did just a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, that's coming to the end of the book, and the credits in the back here, which I think are significant. The 2022 stereo remixes were, as we know, produced and mixed by Giles Martin, engineered by Sam Okell, and mastered by Miles Showell, whereas the mono remaster has been mastered by Sean McGee. The CD is mastered by Thomas Hall. The Paperback Writer EP by Miles Showell. Yeah, so, and sessions were mastered by Alex Wharton. So different mastering engineers on this box set. So it'll be interesting for me to see if I can detect any difference in their mastering styles, or whether it is down to mastering styles, how this album sounds. But anyway, that's the Revolver box set. The book, the stereo remix, the sessions with their test pressing labels, and the mono mix, and this box set. So I hope you enjoyed looking at that box set for the first time with me. Maybe it's helped you make up your mind whether you're going to get it or not. Bit disappointed with the damage on the box and the fact that none of the discs weigh 180 grams as advertised on the hype sticker. I hope the sound quality is better than the visual quality, but we'll wait and see for that one. So what I'm going to do is to listen to this box set this week and give you my review next week, where I'll be comparing the original mono version, the CD versions, and even delving into the Dolby Atmos as well, so I can give you a complete review of the whole spectrum of Revolver releases. That'll be next Sunday on the channel, but until then, I just say bye for now, and thanks for watching.